Welcome back.
Thank you, buddy. How are you?
Right, where were you?
Montana.
Oh, okay. Nice and warm there or cold?
Warm. Beautiful.
Warm.
Dry. Very dry. Couple days of rain, but general dry.
Mr. Alan.
Hello, Mario. Hello. It's Mario today.
How are you?
Hot today, huh, Mario?
Very,
It's
very much so.
supposed to cool off tomorrow, I think. Starting to get a cooling trend.
Yeah, to 92.
Yeah, tonight also. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Jorge.
Buenas noches. Good night.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good night is when you leave us.
Yeah.
Oh, the moon's tonight? Oh, it's not. I'll go
Oh,
look at the
Alan, you're
moon.
right. You're right. Tomorrow is going to be
What's
only
that?
84. 84 tomorrow.
Okay, that's good. Okay, they get cooler every day. Yeah. Yeah. Did you see the moon yet? I gotta go after this year. I'm gonna go out and look at the moon. It's supposed to be a big moon tonight, right?
Yes.
I didn't see it yet. I'll go see the moon, the man on the moon.
Yeah. The Levana. Where is Ernie now?
Looking at the moon. Mario, tonight you can serenade your wife with the moon, right?
What?
That you can serenade your wife tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, the moon's big, yeah. You won't be able to do that for another 25 years. Big opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a blue moon tonight is what they call it. Something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Doctor, you still practice, George? You still practice
Yes,
a little bit?
I teach now.
Oh, okay, that's good. Where do you
Yeah,
teach?
I teach through UCLA VA.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a professor in my area of expertise, which is kidney disease.
Oh, okay. Do you know Gura, Dr. Gura?
I know of him. Yes.
Yeah, I go to him a few times. Is he considered okay in the
He
field?
is.
You know?
He is.
Actually, he's Israeli. He told me all about his background.
Absolutely.
He was in a
Yes.
tank. He was a tank army. He drove a tank. He did a helicopter. He did all kinds of things. An airplane.
Yes.
Yes, quite interesting background. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, he's an interesting guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, interesting guy. Yeah. I'm not Shomer Torah Mitzvahs, but he knows about it. Knows all about it.
It does it all.
Yeah. Where are you from
I don't
originally?
think we can do
George?
it.
I was born in Guatemala.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes,
How'd you happen to be, family happen to be there? After the
because
war they
that's the
came?
only place they could get into.
After the war?
Did you know the Madura family there?
No, Madura?
Yeah, they live in Panama, but I know he has.
No, Madura was not in Guatemala.
mm,
I didn't see them in Guatemala. I mean, some family member may have come by, but I never got to know any Madura in Guatemala.
yeah, they're in
But-
Panama, and I don't know what their cousin's last name was. Settled in Guatemala.
Was there a Jewish community in Guatemala?
Very small. At its
Uh-huh.
peak, it was only about maybe, I would say, 2,000 people at the peak.
Really? Really? And then when did you come to America?
I came to the U.S. at the age of 9, which was about age 165 in 1965.
Oh, wow. Okay. And you came to California?
No, I actually originally went to New York. I went to yeshiva in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was in New York.
Which is,
Hi, Kenny.
okay.
Hello, doctor.
Welcome back.
Thank you, sir. Good to be back.
How was Montana?
Awesome. Good
Nice.
air. Good people.
Did you ride from, you said you were gonna go to Washington?
Yeah, across some of Montana, across the panhandle of Idaho, and into Spokane, Washington.
Oh. Okay,
How was your
horse
night
and a
last night,
bicycle.
Ernie?
what was that?
Did you get that thing resolved with the patient last night?
Absolutely. Okay, Yud Zion Amud Aleph, 17. So we're talking about an Eved Ivri. Normally an Eved Ivri becomes an Eved because he stole money and he doesn't have money to pay back. So he's sold as an indentured servant and he works off his debt. So that's what, so we said that a person who runs away, he still has to pay back the debt. He's not free. So Yachol afilu chala. So maybe an Eved who got sick, couldn't work, does he have to pay back let's say 6 years comes by and he's supposed to be set free, but he still owed $2,000 because he was sick for 2 years. Does he owe money? The Gemara says no. He goes out no matter what, even if he didn't earn enough. So we said that a chala, an Eved who was sick, doesn't get parting gifts. Why not? I mean, he did his 6 years. That's talking about, this is Dr. Agatstein. Say it again. Chai. I'm teaching Daf Yomi right now. Okay, thank you. You're coming for Shabbos, right? We're talking about a Eved that ran away. And then right away Yovel came. And maybe since Yovel came, that's considered shiluchu me'imcha karinam. That's as if you sent him away. And maybe v'lo nikdaseh, maybe we wouldn't fine him. We said before that he gets fined by running away, not getting parting gifts. Maybe here we don't fine him. V'nanikle, and maybe give him. Kamash v'lon, that no. Amar Yachol afilu chala.
The posik that said, the posik that says when he runs away, you don't bring him, you don't return it to him. What does that refer to? What kind of evidence is that? Where the Torah tells you that if he runs away, if a slave runs away, you don't send him back.
That's by
What is it
a
referred to?
Jew. That's by a Jew who's bought by a nochri.
Oh, is that what it is? That's what the pasuk in the Torah talks about.
And if a person ran away and Yovel comes, he does not have to be mashlim, but you don't give him parting gifts. But a regular Jew runs away from his master. He runs away, but he has to pay. He either has to go back to work for the master. He has to find money to pay him back. He has to be mashlim. That maybe we said that chala also he has to be mashlim. No, he goes out, period. Now, afilu chala kol sheish. What if he was sick for 6 years? Ba'atanya, there's a price of chala shalish v'avad shalish. If he worked for 3 and then got sick for 3, then he doesn't have to pay. Eno chayv la'ashlim. But it implies from there, chala kol sheish chayv la'ashlim. Rav Sheshes bo'isam ma'isam, meaning he couldn't schlep a garbage, he couldn't schlep 100 pounds. He wasn't a regular Evid, but he could do needlework. And he did that work. He did a lighter work. And that's why he doesn't have to be mashlim. So the Gemara says, Hagufa kasha. There's something internally contradictory here. Armet chala shalosh vavad shalosh. If he worked at least for 3 years, then he got sick. Ein chayv la'ashlim. Ha'arba. Well, that implies that if he was sick for 4 years, chayv la'ashlim. So ein seifa. Chala kol sheish chayv la'ashlim. Only if he was sick all 6. Ha'arba ein chayv la'ashlim. So hachi kama chala arba nasa kamisha chala kol sheish chayv la'ashlim. The din is, if he was sick for 4 years or more, he's chayv to pay the amount that he would have had to earn during the time he was sick. But if he could do lighter work, like tailoring, if he was sick the whole 6 times, that will count for him. Now, we talked about giving these avodim parting gifts. So how much? Kama manikin lo. So the Torah says, Hanek tanik lo, mitzoncha from your sheep, migornecha from your silo full of grain, umiikvecha from your wine cellar. And the Gemara says, Chamesh sloim kol min v'min. So you have to give him 5 sloim worth of each species. Shehein, Chamesh esrei sloim divrei Rabbi. 15 sloim. Rabbi Yudamer shloishim, 30. Kishloishim shelevet. If your ox kills an eved, you have to pay the master 30 sloim. So Rabbi Yudah says that's how much you have to give him as a gift. Rabbi Shimon Omer chamishim kachamishim shebe'erchit. When the Torah talks about giving an erech vow to the Beis HaMikdash, you say, I want to give this guy's value to the Beis HaMikdash. Well, the highest value for a human being was 50 sloim. So Rabbi Shimon says, the parting gift that you give an eved when he leaves is 50 sloim. Okay, that's the Barais. Amar man. Chamesh sloimi kol min v'min. Shehem chamesh esrei sloim divrei Rabbi. 5 from each, which is a sacha kol 15. Break them over. Rav Meir Minyana also Lashmina. What do you mean? Is this a math book? We know there's 3 meaning. 5 times 3 is 15. What big chiddush is Rav Meir telling us? That you should try to give at least 5 from each species. But let's say you give 15 slime from sheep. That's okay. That'll work too. And that's the halacha. But we paskin like Rav Yehuda that you give 30. Not 50, not 15. My time in Rab Meir, where the Gemara is going to analyze where did all of these people come up with their shita. Yolif rekam mi b'chor. It says by the Eved, lo sishalchenu rekam. Don't send him empty-handed. Then it says kol b'chor banecha tifteh, v'lo yera'u panai rekam. Redeem your firstborn. Now, how much does it cost to give to the kohen? 5 sloim. Mala ala chamesh sloim. Avkan chamesh sloim. So the Gemara wants to ve'ema chamesh sloim mikula. Maybe it's 5 sloim worth of all 3 species. So iksiv rekam labasof. I would have agreed with you. Kitkamet. Hashta d'chsiv rekam bereisha. Shadi rekam. Don't be empty-handed on all 3. Atzon rekam, agoran rekam, ayekam rekam. Frek the Gemara. V'neilef rekam rekam oilus re'iyah. It also says when you have to bring an ola when you go up to the base of Migdash on Yontiv, the lo yera'eh es pnei Hashem rekam. And an ola, there is no fixed value. So maybe it's the same. Maybe we should learn Exer Shavah from there. And basically, we don't have a fixed value. Amra Kra, Asher Beirachach Hashem Lokech. It has to be a big shear. Something that has a bracha. Okay. That's how Rab Meir came up with 15. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Shloishim Keshloishim Shel Evet. That the Torah says that if your ox should kill somebody's Eved, you pay 30. That's an Eved Kanani. My time, Rabbi Yehuda, Yolif Nesina Me Eved. Well, we should learn dinim of an Eved from a dinim of an Eved, where it says giving. So we say, Malol and Shloishim, Avkan Shloishim. So the Gemara asks, "V'neilef nesina me erchin." By erech vows, it also says, "Kesef shloshim shkolim yitain ladona." No, that's by Evet. By erchin, it also says give. Nosan. And Mala Holon Chamishim Avkan Chamishim. So the Gemara gives a classic answer. One answer, Chada de Tafasta Meruba Lo Tafasta. Tafasta Mua Tafasta. Always go for the lowest number. You grab too much, you're not going to get anything. You have at least 30, grab the 30. The Od, Eved Me Eved Abalele Mel. Makes more sense to learn din Evet, din one Evet to the din another Evet. Rab Shimon Omer Chamishim K'Chamishim Shebe'erchin. Rab Shimon said that the amount you give is 50 shkolim. If you take an erech vow and you point to a person and say, I want to give his value as a gift to the base of English, so you depend. If he's a man above the age of 30, it's 50. If it's a woman above a certain age, it's less. If it's a person under the age of 25, it's less. The Torah goes through all, we're going to have a whole Masechta Erchin, which is going to give us these values. My time in Reb Shimon. Gabar Nesina Me Erchin. It says Nesina and it says Nesina. Madoch over there, it's 50. Here also it should be 50. The lowest erech is 3. Maybe it should be the lowest based on your principle of tefasta meruba lo tefasta. Because asher b'rach Hashem lokech eksiv. So it's got to be something that's worthy of a bracha. V'neilef Nesina Nesim Eved Malal and Shloshim Avkan Shloshim. Why does Reb Shimon learn Nesina from Eved? Chad the tafasta lo tafasta. Too much. The odd Eved me Eved Havle Melef. For two reasons. So the odd Eved me Eved Havle Melef. But Reb Shimon Micha Gomar. It says Im Machu V'chiyamucha Chicha Mach, if he became poor. So his Gzer Shav is based on Mach. The way Rav Meir learns, 5 sloim for each species. That's why the Torah wrote 3 species. El Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Yehuda says 30. Rabbi Shimon says 50. What do you need? Hayt Soren Gor v'Yaakov Lamal. You need it for the 5. Yachol lo yumanikin elamit Soren Gor v'Yaakov. Maybe the parting gifts can only be from sheep, grain, wine. Minay l'Rabbis Koder, you can give him anything. In came matam adlomer tzon v'yagorim v'yakim. Then enachanami, if you can give anything, why did the Torah specify? Loimer l'cha, to give you a principle. Matzon gorim v'yakim miyuchodim. What are unique about them? Sheyeshnan bechlal bracha. There can be blessing there because they grow. They grow organically. Money doesn't grow. Well, it doesn't grow on trees, but it does grow. So Divrei Rab Shimon. So Rav Eliezer ben Yaakov, Omer, he says ksofim are included because money does grow in investment. But yotzu fredos, you can't use mules. Mules are sterile and they don't grow. But Rab Shimon fredos mishapchem begufayu. If you feed a mule, it'll grow. And Rav Eliezer ben Yaakov ksofim avid buiski, you can do business with money. Now utzricha, we need all of these to be mentioned. Because on its own, if it only wrote sheep, havamina balechayim in, you do like karkalo. That has to be an animal, not something that grows from the ground. Because Rachmana goyren, wheat. Because of havamina, you do like karka in, balechayim lo. If it would have only said goyren, I would have rejected live animals. So, because Rachmana tzon. Okay, so you have animals and you have growth. Why do you need wine? Yakev Lamalu. So Lemar Lemu'ute Ksafim, we needed to exclude either money, according to one shita, and Lemar Lemu'ute Frodois to say, because you had to have a common denominator to exclude the things that don't grow. 1 second, I'm just going to get a tissue. 1 second. Rabona.
And let me ask you, can the Eved use the severance to pay off some of his debts to the policy he owns? He didn't complete, let's say, complete the 6 years.
I don't think
present.
I don't think so. He only gets the gifts when he qualifies to get out.
When he yeah.
Otherwise,
I see. So he can't. Okay.
That's on top of everything. Torah Rabbana, Asher birachach Hashem lokech, that Hashem blesses you with. Yachol nizbarach ba'is biglalo. Maybe if the master was successful and his house prospered, then manikin lo. And lo nizbarach ba'is biglalo ein manikin lo. Maybe we don't give gifts if during the time that the Eved was there, the house was not prosperous. No. You have to give parting gifts no matter what. Then why did the Torah say if your house was blessed? Means if you had significant growth, you have to give him a big tip. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah Dvarim Kiksova. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says it's the way it's written. Nizbarach bayis biglalo manikin lo. If in fact the house was successful, give him a tip. Lo nizbarach bayis biglalo manikin lo. Im kein matam adam hanik tanik. Dibretor kaloshim neodim. It's just poetic license. We paskin in the Rambam, whether the house prospered, whether it doesn't, he still gets a gift. And you give him a bigger gift if the house significantly prospered. Eved ivri oivedes haben ve'eno oivedes habas. If the master dies, the Eved ivri stays and works for the son, but not a daughter. Ama ivriya, with the death of the master, goes free. Eina ovedes loes haben, the loes habas. Hanirtza, the Eved that had his ear pierced, that wanted to stay forever. The Hanimkar Lenochri, or the Eved Ivri that was sold to a goy. Eina Ovid Lo Saben Lo Sabas. He goes free with the death of the master. He's not inherited, not by the son or by the daughter. Omar, we're going to analyze this price. Eved Ivri Ovid Saben Min Ovid Sabas. Benon Mili, how do you know this? The Torah Rabbanon Vavadcha Sheishanim. L'cha v'lo l'yorish. He can only serve you, but not his heir. Now, we're meaning heir excluding the son, like a brother. Maybe it excludes the son too. That already includes the son. So the Gemara doesn't understand. I mean, they're both Yorshim. Why should you reject the brother and bring in the son? Two things. A master is allowed to take the money that he got to take the Amoha Ivriya, right? The father of the Amoha Ivriya owed money. So he sells the daughter to the person he owed money to. So he can also use that money or part of that money for Kidushin to marry the Amo Ivri, or to even use it for his son. So that's what it means, Ben Kam Tachas Aviv Liyado. You don't need other Kiddushin money. The money that was set aside for the payment of the Amo Ivriya can be used for Kesef Kiddushin. That's number one, where the son steps in for the father. Number two is De'achuza. So if a father donates his field to the Beis HaMikdash, he has a certain time before Yovel to redeem it. And if you don't redeem it from the Beis HaMikdash before Yovel comes, you lose it permanently. It's given to the Beis HaMikdash. Now, the din is that if the father didn't redeem it, the son can redeem it. but somebody else from the mishpacha has no right to redeem it. So therefore, the Gemara learns that since the son takes the place of the father in Yiyud and Stechusa, it makes sense that he takes the place as the master of the Eved Ivri. Versus other Rabbah, just the opposite. Marba Niyasa'ach, Shekin Kam Tachas Ochiv Liyibum. The brother also stays in place of his brother. It becomes Yibum. But the Gemara rejects it. The presence of the ben wipes away Yibum. Ayesh ben and Yibum. The ben has more reason. And the time of the Pircha. You have this kasha. Why would the brother be better? There were two factors favoring the son. There was Yiyud and Stechusa. The brother only had Yibum, only one. So Stechusa nami mai pirchu de kanaf kilelatana. So that's why you needed Klum Yesh Yibum El B'Malkum Shein Ben. Yibum only works when there's no son. So it's really one against one. Because if there's no son, there's no value to this Dechusa. Because there's nobody else to redeem it. The Jewish Amma, if the master dies, no one gets her. This is a pasuk talking about an Eved who wants his ear pierced. Ikisha kosav l'nirtza. Ma nirtza eino avilos abev l'sabas. Because it says va'avado lo v'lo ben. Only the master works him, nobody else. So just like a nirtza is not inherited by the children, af amayvriya eino ovedis lo saben v'lo sabas. One second. So, how can you tell me that the pasuk goes to teach me that? It's needed for something else. To teach me that you give parting gifts to an amavriya. Maybe it's only for the din ritzia. Maybe to teach me that she gets her ear pierced too. So if there we exclude v'lo amavriya, the exclusion for an amavriya from getting your ear pierced is already mentioned. So maybe that's to teach me, give her parting gifts. You learn both halachas. That she's not inherited by the ben or the bas. Then it says, Hanirtza v'animkar l'nochri eino ovilos aben v'labas. Nirtza t'chsiv v'ratza adonav es no b'martzeh v'avado le'olam. You work for him forever. V'los aben v'los abas. Nimkar l'nochri minayin amar chizik amar kav v'chishav im koneu. You do the calculation with the one who bought him. V'lo im yorshe koneu. Amarav, Dvar Torah Nochri Yorish Esav. Meikra Din, a goy inherits his goy father. Shenemar v'chishav im koneu, v'lo im yorshe koneu. He doesn't have to work with the yorshe. Now, the fact that Chazal used the word yorshe koneu, michlal di'esle yorshe. So goyim have heirs. But ger, a convert who inherits his father, who's a goy, that's Eino Medivrei Torah Medivrei Sofer. Mikra Adin, he doesn't inherit his father. This not. Ger v'nochri sheyorshus aviyim nochri. You have two brothers. One is a goy. One was a goy who converted to Judaism. They have the same father who was a goy. And the father died. Ger yochel lomer l'nochri. The ger can say to the non-Jew, Tola ta'avodah zara, you take the idols and I'll take the money. Tola ta'yayin nesech, you take that which prohibited to be the ani peiros. Now, you cannot do it because otherwise you're benefiting from these things. You could only do it in initial. Once mishabol rishus ger, as long as it hasn't come into the ger's possession yet, he can divide with his brother the way we said. But he can't trade it with his brother once he has it. Now, but if a ger inheriting his father is Yerusha Midaraisa Kilobal Tsunami, even if it didn't come to his physical rishus yet, Kishakel, whatever he takes, Chiluf what is owed to Koshakel. He's trading. I have $1,000 of money. You have $1,000 of idols. We're trading. Must be a ger's ability to inherit a goy, his father's midrabanan. Gzeru David Rabbanan, Shema Yachzer L'Suro. If you don't really, Dvar Torah Nochri Yorish Asavi. And if we don't let him inherit it, he's going to go back to become a non-Jew again because of the loss of the Yerusha if we don't give him something. So since he doesn't have a full reshus in it, he can't do that trade with the Avodah Zarah once it comes into his possession. If they inherited from their father, if they go into partnership, they can't do this kind of trade-off, that the Nochri can get the idols and I can get the money. And Nochri Asager, the Ger Asager, if a goy inherits his father who was a ger, or the ger inherits his father who was a ger, it's from neither. It's not. You borrowed money from a ger who converted with his children. Therefore, there's no connection between them. They're like a ger kekotn shenola. Lo yasru lebanav. You can't return the money to the sons because they're not considered his heirs. If you do that, Chacham are not happy with you. Another Rabbi says he is happy. Lo kasha kan. It depends what kind of son he is. If he was he was conceived and he was born when his father was not Jewish. The father was a complete goy. And then only later he converted. So then there's no connection. So then the father doesn't have to give it back to him. He doesn't have to give it back to the father. The other case is Shoy Rasa Shalom B'Kedusha V'lei Dosa B'Kedusha, which we'll talk about tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to learn at 6:30.